There comes a point on the path when your inner peace becomes infinitely more precious than your ego, when your silence carries more weight than any justification, and when your quiet withdrawal heals you far deeper than any argument ever could. Do not react. Remove yourself without announcement, not from hatred, but from profound self-honor. When someone reveals their true nature through betrayal, disrespect, or manipulation, you are under no obligation to stage a dramatic exit. Real strength doesn't shout. It simply turns and walks away with unshakable dignity, choosing serenity over chaos and refusing to trade your calm for anything less. This is your awakening on the channel Master from Within. This is the moment you learn to choose yourself without apology, without explanation, and without ever looking back. The true transformation was never about making them regret what they lost. It was about you becoming someone who no longer needs to. Now lean in, because I'm about to share 7 life-altering truths that have carried me through my darkest seasons and shaped everything I teach here on Master from Within. Let each one land exactly where it needs to. Number 1. Silence is the ultimate expression of self-mastery. We live in a culture that confuses volume with strength, that celebrates the loud comeback, the savage clapback, the public defense of one's name. But what if the highest form of power is found in the words you consciously choose not to speak? Silence is not surrender, it is sovereignty. When someone crosses your boundaries, lies to your face, or deliberately provokes you, the primitive impulse is to fight fire with fire, to explain, to justify, to demand they see your side. Yet every time you do, you hand your peace to the very person who just tried to steal it. True power doesn't roar. It withdraws. It observes. It protects its energy with surgical precision. Silence declares that you are no longer available for emotional games, that your maturity has outgrown the need for instant gratification through argument. Anyone can scream. Anyone can type a 10-paragraph message. But to pause, to breathe, to look someone in the eye, or simply stop replying and choose peace over being right, that is mastery. That is the quiet strength of a warrior who finally understands that not every action deserves a reaction, not every insult deserves a response, and not every closed door needs to be kicked down. When you meet disrespect with silence, you force the other person to sit alone with what they've done. You remove the audience they were performing for. More importantly, you give yourself the gift of space, space where clarity returns, where your nervous system calms, where you hear your own inner voice again instead of the endless noise of conflict. In that silence, you reclaim your center. You remember who you are when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, when no one is attacking. And from that centered place, nothing can truly touch you. People will wonder why you disappeared. Let them wonder. You don't owe explanations to those who never respected your presence while they had it. Your silence is already saying everything. My peace is non-negotiable. My energy is sacred. I have evolved. And once you taste that depth of calm, you will never again trade it for the cheap thrill of having the last word. Number 2. Your energy introduces you before you even speak. There is a language older and truer than words, and it is the language of vibration. When you decide someone no longer deserves access to you, you don't need a public announcement, a dramatic unfollow, or a final text. You simply withdraw your energy and the message is received on a soul level. People feel it instantly. The warmth leaves the room even if you never said goodbye. That sudden chill, that unexplained emptiness, that's your absence doing the talking. Energy never lies. Someone can swear they don't care, but when your light stops shining in their direction, they feel the darkness. They may play it cool on the outside, but inside something shifts. Because human beings are wired to feel presence and absence in our bones. When you stop overgiving, stop chasing, stop explaining, stop filling the silence they were comfortable leaving empty, the vacuum you create speaks louder than any confrontation ever could. This is why protecting your energy is not selfish. It is the highest form of self-respect. You begin to notice who leaves you feeling expanded and who leaves you contracted. You stop tolerating inconsistent vibes just because the words sound nice. You stop pouring into cups that were never meant to hold you. And when you finally pull your energy back from those who were drinking from your well without ever refilling it, they feel the drought. Suddenly life feels colder for them, not because you cursed them out, but because your presence was the sunlight they took for granted. Move differently now. Shift your frequency and watch how the universe rearranges everything around the new standard you silently set. Those who match it will naturally step closer. Those who don't will fade without you ever having to push them. That's the magic of energy. It does the sorting for you. Number 3, closure is something you grant yourself. It is never a gift someone else can hand you. Waiting for the person who hurt you to finally explain, apologize, or make it make sense is like waiting for the storm that destroyed your house to come back and rebuild it. Real closure is an inside job. It is the moment you decide their chapter in your story is over, even if they never bothered to write a proper ending. Some people will go to their grave rewriting history to protect their ego. Some betrayals will never come with a neat little bow of understanding, and that's okay. You do not need their confession to begin your healing. You do not need their "I'm sorry" to forgive. You do not need their permission to move on. Closure happens when you stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and start declaring, "This no longer gets to live inside me." You cry the tears. You feel the rage. You grieve the version of them you thought was real. And then one day you wake up and decide, "I am closing this door from the inside. I am sealing this wound with my own hands. I am walking forward carrying wisdom instead of wounds." That is the moment the chains actually break. That is the moment you become your own savior. And no apology in the world feels as liberating as the one you finally give yourself. Permission to be free. Number 4, guard your peace like it is the most sacred thing you own, because it is. Your peace is not a luxury. It is the foundation of every dream you will ever build, every relationship you will ever nurture, every version of yourself you are becoming. Treat it like a temple, not a train station open to anyone passing through. Not everyone deserves access to your energy, your thoughts, your time. Your heart. The moment you truly internalize this, boundaries stop feeling harsh and start feeling holy. Saying no stops requiring a 10-page justification. Walking away stops feeling like abandonment and starts feeling like alignment. Protecting your peace means becoming ruthlessly selective. It means leaving conversations that shrink you. It means muting notifications that steal your focus. It means releasing people who only feel like home when they need something. And yes, it sometimes means being called cold, distant, or changed. Let them talk. The people who truly belong in your life will respect the gate you keep around your garden. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of boundaries. Guard it fiercely, daily, unapologetically. Because a life built on protected peace is a life that expands instead of merely endures. Number 5, your response is your real power. Everything else is noise. In a world addicted to reaction, the person who can pause, breathe, and choose their response instead of being hijacked by emotion has already won. This is not suppression. This is sovereignty. Every trigger is an invitation to prove how far you've come. When someone pushes your buttons, they are actually handing you the remote control to your own nervous system. What you do with it determines whether you stay free or fall back into old chains. Responding instead of reacting is the difference between living as a thermostat or a thermometer, setting the temperature or merely registering it. It is the difference between being ruled by your wounds and being guided by your wisdom. Master this, and you master everything. Because no one can take your peace if you refuse to hand it over. Number 6, distance is one of the most powerful forms of self-love you will ever practice. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is create space. Space from the person, the environment, the memories that keep reopening old wounds. Healing cannot happen in the same place that broke you. It requires distance, silence, and the courage to stop trying to fix what was never yours to fix. Distance is not punishment of the other person. It is medicine for your soul. It is the quiet act of saying, "I choose my becoming over our history." And in that space, something sacred happens. You stop performing strength and actually start rebuilding it, layer by layer, breath by breath, until one day you look up and realize you are no longer bleeding from wounds you used to introduce as stories. This is the path we walk together here on Master from Within. This is where we learn that true power is quiet, true healing is internal, and true freedom begins the moment we stop waiting for the world to treat us right and start treating ourselves as sacred. Keep walking, warrior. The best is yet to come.